24th. Got another new deck we're playing here today. For the last week or so, 2 weeks, I've been kind of staring. I've just like into the stream, had lunch, gone to start deck building after the stream like I usually do. And I just have been staring at like these cards. I've been staring at Goblin Engineer, Aether Vial II. I've been staring at Goblin Engineer, Scrapwork Mutt, Seasoned Pyromancer, sometimes more Dragon Engines than this, usually more Dragon Engines, Unearth and Aether Vial. And I'm like, this is like a really interesting like card advantage mana engine. The Vial plays really nice with like Spyro, Engineer, Mutt, unearthing them for so much value. And for like weeks I'm like, well, but what do we do with this? What do we do with this like card advantage engine? Like we have to play either like a very aggressive deck, which is gonna be difficult with Aether Vial and these slow cards, or we have to play some kind of combo deck. And I was like kind of stuck like trying to build food strategies. I at one point I was trying to be like red white Stoneblade with recommission over Unearth, which I thought was kind of interesting. And then I was like going through my deck list. I'm like, oh, fucking Greasefang. Greasefang is just the perfect card to pair with Scrapwork Mutt, Goblin Engineer, Seasoned Pyromancer. We've played Greasefang also in the past. This was something that we had played. Actually, I wish I had saved my other list because I had overwritten this. So we had a list that was playing the food package, and then we had this list that was playing like Ragavan. I'm trying to remember. It was basically Ragavan over Giver, and several other changes, but. Just like looking back, like this deck doesn't play removal spells. Like Giver is so much better than Ragavan 2. Protecting your Greasefang is so important. But like, you know, this was a deck that we worked on back when Greasefang first came out in Kamigawa, which was early last year. And I think the combination of Phyrexian Dragon Engine and Scrapwork Mutt are like really, really big upgrades for the archetype too. And I think that it is definitely worth another look. I actually think that like when I was putting this together, I'm like, I think people have suggested this in chat before. But I finally got around to working on it last night. It was also like pretty promising. My first two matches last night, I 2-0'd against Scam, and then I 2-0'd against Murktide. And then I lost to Hammer Time, and then I went to go eat dinner with Esther and then watch The Last of Us. But I think that was a pretty good start to, just 2-0, two very, very interactive decks right off the bat. Let me think if I have any other... So I would say like Dragon Engine was absolutely an all-star playtesting last night. I would be engineering for it pretty aggressively, although usually want to get at least one Parhelion in the yard first. I think you could maybe play like a second or third Dragon Engine, but being able to like both unearth and engineer this gave you like an insane amount of card advantage against the grindy decks. Loran, this is also like kind of a quieter upgrade, but having access to a Reclamation Sage in your unearth deck is really, really nice. In a deck that needs to be able to answer Rest in Peace, Leyline and the Void, those kind of cards. We have Sky Sovereign for Karn decks mostly, Pithing Needle for artifact-based graveyard hate. Obviously comes into several other matchups like Yawgmoth and Grinding Station decks, Chalice for Cascade, Alpine Moon for Urza Saga, Orvar for Creativity, Forge-Tender for red removal decks. Alright, let's go. Ooh, man, I really wish I had a white source I could go Sentinel into Mutt into Greasefang, but I do think I'm supposed to keep this where if we draw a white source in our top 3 looks because we have 2 draw steps and a Mutt draw, we get to turn 3 Greasefang on the play. There's a very similar list of Historic. I wonder how much worse the deck was without Aether Vial. I mean, the deck also exists in Pioneer. Aether Vial is like a really nice upgrade. I am curious, I guess, does Goblin Engineer exist in Historic? Because for me, like, the biggest, like, draw to modern Greasefang is Goblin Engineer being, like, a 2-mana Entomb that it's also a card advantage engine. Okay, Watery Grave, Gigantha. Thankfully, I'm really resilient to the Thoughtseize because I have Unearth. But we're likely up against Grixis Shadow here. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Giver's Spellskite is nice, too. Yeah, I considered Recommission too. So one thing I was kind of stuck with Recommission was like if you played Recommission, I would want to play more Dragon Engines, but I only had like one flex spot, which was the Spellskite at the moment. I tried Smuggler's Copter last night in the Spellskite spot. I cited it out in every single game, which doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't play it, but I decided I wanted one Spellskite instead. But yeah, I do agree Recommission could be a good option. Ooh, now isn't that nice? We still need to find some white mana. So you need to find some white mana, but we're off to a good start. Couldn't you see Solitude's joining the team if you're Greasefang, since you're already wreaking havoc, so life gain isn't that relevant? Can you actually use Return's Hand to Parhelion? If I was going to play Solitude, it would be like... I don't know that I would necessarily main deck it. I don't know that necessarily jives with your deck's game plan. Having a couple in the sideboard for like Murktide Hammer Time could be okay. I don't know that it's something I'm that interested in main decking. I'd also, you know, of course, be interested in hearing if you feel like there's, you know, something we could cut for them, because I feel like the list is, you know, being a linear Aether Vial combo deck doesn't have a ton of room. What's the max number of non-creature spells you'd play with Aether Vial? I usually don't think of, like, the number of non-creature spells exactly. I usually like to think of the number of creatures. Usually I'm wanting to be, like, in theory, like, 22 creatures minimum. But, it's also, like, I will actually usually count, like, Eladamri's Call as a creature if I'm playing it with Aether Vial, where, which is, this is 13. Yeah, let's go ahead and get them. Well, they're gonna. I'm just trying to think because of Death Shadow. Yeah, I guess they're gonna be dead to Greasefang anyway, so we should probably just not grow their shadows. So like Eladamri's Call is really nice with Vial because you like Eladamri's Call for whatever you want to Vial in. So like, I usually count that as a creature if I'm ever playing those two cards together. I'm trying to think if there's any other card that's like a non-creature spell that I count as a creature. And maybe just that one. Slide them. Yeah, I think sliding Solitude could be an option. You know, this is something that's very important to keep in mind, but like on, you know, relatively newish lists like this, sideboards can be kind of untuned. Oh wow, they're just putting themselves dead if I top deck a white source. I guess we'll play around Force of, I don't know. Also been loving Aether Vial in this deck. This is 13 damage, right? They're at 11. How do you kind of cycle it like Unearth? I usually don't count it towards the number. Yeah, so here we're at 26, which is pretty well over required. We could even be like -4 creatures and still like be an okay Aether Vial deck, but the more the merrier, of course. Okay, so we're on the draw against Grixis Shadow going into game 2. So I've been cutting my hearses and stuff from my Grixis Shadow sideboard. I don't know if that's like super stock, but I haven't been super happy with the card, so I don't know if I want to bring a Needle for that kind of effect. It can be bad to not have any hate for their hate, but let me just see if like there's like a goldfish list that's like been 5-0 recently, because that's, you know, it's not too yeah, I don't even see it in the top. So like if they're playing my list, then they're not, I mean, they also, like, if they're playing my first version of my list, then they have the hearse. It's gonna be tough. Another thing too is like I don't have really too many weak cards in the matchup. Like I'm kind of interested in bringing in like trimming a Giver, trimming a Vial, playing like 2 Forge-Tenders. Void at 1. I think we have too many 1-drops. I mean, you could still bring it in because it's very good against them. You can Vial in some of your 1-drops. But you know, I have 16 1-mana spells. It's like even as like about as many as they do. So you have 1 minute 22 seconds left. Surprised I don't see. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is Corey's list, I think, and Corey is playing hers. Corey's also playing Fable. I guess, yeah, I think that having at least one needle is going to be nice to have access to, just in case they do have the Graveyard Hate. Don't want to be super caught with my pants down. Sanctifier 200 in the mana. So my issue, you could play Sanctifier. My problem with Sanctifier is that it makes your Unearths like significantly worse. And so like you would be mostly wanting Sanctifier for the Rakdos matchup, right? And Unearth is like one of your better cards there, but it exiles your Seasoned Pyromancers and your Greasefang, so all of a sudden your Unearths are a lot worse. So I'm thinking that you probably don't want to play it, but you could cast it if it is something you wanted. How do you cast Orvar? You don't. So what you do is you side this in against decks playing Archon of Cruelty, then you discard it to Archon's trigger, and then copy the Archon. I wonder if Scam was real hard. So in my testing last night, I 2-0'd Scam, and they had like good draws both times. Although they were stuck on, they were stuck on 3 mana in game 2, or 2 mana and couldn't get their Hidden Sugu down, they said, but they did also have like turn 1 Scam into like several interactive spells. Why is this hand keepable? So against Grixis Shadow, Esper Sentinel is one of your most premium cards. So you're always really happy to have turn 1 Sentinel against Grixis Shadow, and it's also a matchup where they're just full of Thought Seizes, and they're full of cheap interactive spells, cheap 1-for-1s, and it can be a pretty difficult matchup to mulligan in. Easy clappers. 8 months, thank you. Yeah, we did have a Spellskite in the hand before it went away, which was also nice to have access to. Vat of Rebirth. I don't think so. It's the new Mimic Vat sounds like. Okay, they do have hers, so I'm glad I have the needle in my deck. I might just be on 2/2 double strike beatdown plan. Let's see what we draw. Alright, we're playing our 2/2 double striker. We're attacking for 1. We've got protection with the giver. I'll bring in a second needle for your sideboard. Could you poison the opponent up abusing Spellskite? Yeah, Spellskite plus Rot Priest is like actually like a really common. Wait, they targeted their own graveyard? Is a pretty, like, people are pretty hyped about it. We'll be messing around with it. So they must have Drown, right? Omega Phoenix with the 20 months, thank you. Resubbing a Mardu Greasefang Day, the stars to truly line, hell yeah. Nassif's Arcadius deck looks really sick. I love how Nassif builds decks. He's just like a painter. Alright, so good for me, I think that they're playing this. I need to draw like Seasoned Pyromancer this turn. Yeah, the Defender card Arcades, so he's playing like all 8 like walls, and then just like playing Band Control and slamming Arcades. Do you need 2 Spellskites with Rot Priest or just 1? One, like, well, it depends like on your like storm count, right? But you can get the job done with 1. Come on, Seasoned Pyromancer. Let's freaking go! Just like a Mardu Scam player, or Rakdos Scam player. It's just that easy, chat. It's just that easy. Yeah, I think Corey's list plays. I think they're playing Corey's list. I think Corey's list plays push. Yeah, he tweeted the list this morning. I just like, I haven't been able to like tune into many Nassif streams lately, but like, watching his brewing streams are just, I'd love to watch it. You could just like really see the gears turning. But this is the list, isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? That's not the latest list. It was like 4 hours ago. I guess there've been changes since then. No, he's playing Arcades. Yeah, I'm a big Nassif fanboy. Three Wing Mantle. Oh boy, I am nervous to like even hear it. Are their main facing dress down? Is this just a concession? What in the world is Wing Mantle? Yeah, Nassif loves Wall of Omens. Nassif loves Wall of Omens. Did I ever consider Arcades? I don't think I ever have, no. I'm also not sure this is the first time he's played it. I don't think we're gonna. I couldn't possibly steal Nassif's Thunder and play Arcades. Okay, I will say this again. This is very early in testing, but I have 2-0 Scam, Murktide, and Grixis Shadow with like a linear creature deck like this. That feels pretty good so far. So we have our combo. We have Engineer into Greasefang, and we have Sentinel plus Giver, and we're on the draw. I think we can keep this. What do I admire about how he plays? It's like, it's even hard to like talk about, because like the thing with Nassif is he's just on a different level. He's just on a different level, and this is kind of hard to describe. But when Nassif plays, and if you like watch him like closely, and you kind of watch his mannerisms and his body language, and like you read too much into it. Well, I love to watch him. Like he'll examine a board state. He'll do this, and it's like he immediately sees like every surface level thing that every other player sees on a board. Like there's so many times you'll be watching Nassif, and you'll be like, why aren't you making just the obvious play here? But he sees it immediately, but he just will always take the time to consider it. And like 9 times out of 10, I think he ends up making the obvious play, because that's like, or like he'll make the standard line, the line that seems clear. But that 10th out of 10 time, he'll see a line that nobody else sees, and he'll win the game. And that's why he's just the fucking best, He just always takes the time, and I really admire it. Whoa, what are they doing? Probably a Breach variant. Yeah, except in game 3. Except in game 3, of course. Yeah, so we didn't draw a land in our first 2 looks. They're gonna bounce my... Yeah, so they're playing a Grinding Breach variant. This hand has not really worked out so far. Any advice for Trin being able to maintain that kind of focus of paper events to avoid fatigue during the full tournament? No. I don't. I wish I knew how. Like, especially doing my like Dark Souls challenge runs lately, like focus is a big problem for me lately, and that's why he's one of the best, and why he's like his ability to maintain that level of focus for an entire tournament consistently is very difficult, and it's subtle too, but it is. Yeah, that's why he's one of the best. I would love advice on how to maintain focus, because like I've been playing like 4 or 5 hours of Magic into trying to no-hit Dark Souls, and it has been so incredibly challenging. It has been rough. That being said, last night, so this is another thing too, and this is something I'm trying to really strategize a little bit. But so like last night, after the run, I had lunch, I took a nap, I built this deck, or no, so I practiced Dark Souls before I built this deck, but I ended up practicing Ornstein and Smo. I beat Ornstein 7 times in a row. 4 of those were like the good RNG openings, so it's like not as impressive, but the other 3 weren't, and in that 7 in a row streak. And then I beat 4 Kings 3 times in a row. I beat Gwyn 3 times in a row. And so to some extent, I think me being able to do that well off stream is related to there being less pressure and me being more rested. But I wonder if the best strategy for the Dark Souls is to like take a break and then start playing afterwards. So I may be doing that today. We'll just kind of see how I feel. I may take it on a day-to-day thing. Okay, land. No such luck. Okay, I'm going to discard Greasefang, and if I draw a black source, I get to Unearth this turn. Okay. Winning this game anyways would be crazy. So stumbling. Yeah, exercise and working out definitely very important. Something I could do more of. Okay, so let's bring a Needle for Grinding Station. Chalice on 0 also stops their combo. I don't know if I want the full 4 of these. They're also a Saga deck. I've kind of been struggling with sideboarding to some extent. Because it doesn't really feel like you want to... Okay, I think I may play Forge-Tender over Giver, since they seem to be on like mostly red removal or all red removal. I guess they have Aether Spellbomb though. It's all very tough. Yeah, maybe we have to cut the Unearths. I think this makes sense. Let's try this. Is Loran play? Loran's really good. This is the first white Reclamation Sage. There's been a lot of 2 mana white creatures that kill just enchantments. This is the first like 2 or 3 mana creature that destroys artifacts or enchantments, and it also has like, you know, can help you draw cards if you're like really behind. That line of text is not that important, but in an Earth Aether Vial deck that cares about killing ley lines and rest in pieces, it's a very important card. Okay, on the play. Keeping this. Awesome, Zach. Very cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure that if they would necessarily jive well, but it's always been a package I've liked, so happy to see it working out well for you. I could tell you typically drink 3 or 4 Cokes a day, and I'm having a hard time cutting down to 1. Are you talking to me? I have lately. I've been having like 1 or 2 cups of coffee. I've been doing okay. I'm like not even all the way through my first cup today. Although they're pretty strong. they're pretty strong. I'm just excited to be here, you know what I mean? Dude, every time like I make a YouTube video that I'm like really excited about, or I'm streaming a deck I'm really excited about, people are like, dude, Spike's had way too much coffee. And I'm like, I'm just happy to be here. Just happy to be here. Yeah, I want to build the dungeon deck of paper. So I haven't bought my Acerax. I did buy my like Anviltron pieces. Monkey. All the OKCIs moved to Anvil last night. Very cool. I like that deck so much. Yeah, I've been stretching lately. I think that's good advice. I haven't been stretching very long though. But I think that's very good advice. Okay, you can Vial in the Needle. Yeah, I agree. Just like a little bit of exercise at home. I need to be a bit better about it. We're gonna be healthy gamers in 2023, chat. All of us. Look over the NRG champs, so I think I'm playing Team of Breach over Jeskai because Jesse played it, I think. I mean, I've always been a kind of proponent of red-green breach over... or red-green base breach over, like, blue-white, or... just, like, Rin and 6, I think, is very, very strong. I remember liking Jesse's list a lot. It's been, like, a week or two since I've, like, gone over them, but I remember liking most of Jesse's card choices. I'm trying to think if there's anything I would have done differently. So let's Pithing Needle Emery. Play this tapped, I guess, and then could attack. Think not this time. Elf Neff, the 2 months, thank you. Do you have any baseline recommendations for getting more into brewing into Modern? So I've written some articles on Channel Fireball on the topic of brewing in Modern that I could recommend to you. You have to do some digging, but they're there. But like generally, the most important piece of advice is that, and it's kind of a nuanced thing, but the most important thing is to like just not force anything. Is the most important piece of advice is to like all of your good brews are going to start with a good idea, and having a good idea is something that you just can't force to happen. It's going to have to be something that happens organically or doesn't happen at all. I guess I should have tapped with the I should cast the Seasoned Pyromancer, Vial this in, so I could leave this up for Esper Sentinel Giver. Ooh, they didn't make a token in response. And so really like waiting for a good idea to come to you, it takes a long time, and like I think like patience is like the most important thing. And then the old rage scoop. I spoke 35 months. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. And then like maybe like the second most important thing is like when you have a cool idea that isn't good, but it's cool, it's so sweet, you wish you could show it off. Being able to abandon that is just like a very important thing, so your brewing can be more productive. Like I've got a really good example of that. Got a good example of that. I know this is blue-white belief, but this is I think I showed this off on stream earlier, but the idea is Resurgent Belief in a Fire's Invention shell, where you can use Shadow Prophecy to not only find your Resurgent Belief, find your fires, but also dump a bunch of enchantments into the graveyard. Seal Fire is an enchantment that returns back to Resurgent Belief. And what's cool is when you have fires in play, you can like cycle Shark Typhoon, cycle Lake Claim, cycle Colossus Sky Turtle, and like even Turtle get back Resurgent Belief. And then so you cast 2 spells with your fires. But like I mean this deck, and I think this deck is so sick, but I also like haven't played any games with it, and I think it probably will stay that way. Why isn't WotC printed a better vehicle than Parhelion II? I mean, Parhelion II is pretty good. Uh-oh. Monkey. Test it? I don't know. My gut is telling me it's a waste of time, but it could end up playing better than I think. Four mana. Choose one of both. Exile target artifact or creature you control, then return it to the battlefield in your control. Return target artifact or creature mana value 3 less or graveyard to the battlefield. No! I guess this is fine. I don't have that many non-creature spells. Are the explosives being on 1 right now? It's a cool card. It's also 4 mana. Okay, plusing there to Fairy. Sure. Their start definitely lines up pretty well against mine here. Did I see the Reanimator artifact? I don't think so. When you say Reanimator artifact, nothing comes to my mind, I guess. Mutt. If I submitted a historic deck, I could be interested in looking at it. I wouldn't be able to offer any like meaningful input on it. I don't play historic, you know what I mean? Alright, destroying my Chalice. Playing Tormont's Crypt, sure. And they forgot to activate Teferi. I wouldn't mind keeping this Esper Sentinel around. I think I will discard it for the token mostly. What is this, the spell? Oh, yeah, someone asked me about this. I don't think they linked it. Thank you for linking it. Whenever another artifact or creature you control split a graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter. Remove 4 oil counters. Return. I mean, this card's not any good. Close, but not enough. Ooh, bounce Crypt for the Ledger Shredder Connive. Cool line. Love this, dude. I mean, the payoff is being a 4 mana reanimate spell, and requires a lot of setup for it. Just play, you know, makeshift mannequin. Could be good with other oil stuff. As far as I've seen, other oil stuff is just like not going to be competitive enough for Modern. If that's not the case, though, then it could be. Okay, so I'm going to engineer again. I think I'm just going to put the dragon engine in the yard, which will force the Tormod's Crypt activation, and then we still have the Parhelion in our hand. We can draw like Seasoned Pyromancer, another Mutt or something. Hopefully they have 3 years of sagas. Needle, okay. On Goblin Engineer, love that. Love that they didn't name Parhelion. One card in their hand. So I guess if we activate Unearth, then they can just respawn there. So let's go ahead and make Seasoned Pyromancer tokens, which they don't get to Tormod's Crypts. Although maybe the point is still to make them use the crypt. Although I think I can make it the tokens. They also might mess up and crypt them. Is that how Unearth works? I believe so, right? Yeah, it does work that way. Yeah. So I never saying they should have popped the crypt, but obviously they just do it in response. But we can Seasoned Pyromancer. Decide to defend to Fairy. Then they main phase activate, which is odd. I wonder why that is. Okay, weird. Is Domin's V tomorrow? Yeah, Domin's Veto's pretty good. Don't want to trigger Connive. Okay, so if they had any white cards in their hand, the Flooded Strand can unlock those. Scott with the 15 months, thank you. They could have Breach. Okay, if they're paying, they probably don't have Breach. Yeah, they might be able to race even without Breach here. They have one card. So cast the Vial. Do you think a modern deck with some of the newer white taxing creatures played in Legacy could work? You have to be like so much more specific than that. But most of the like new white creatures that are played in Legacy are like initiative creatures, right? Which are not modern legal. Alright, pumping the brakes. Come on. Good top deck. We're one away. Am I ready for Lord of the Rings Modern Horizon 3? I am a little bit nervous that they're not going to make the characters as sexy as I want them to, but I hope so. Okay, ending the moon. Can guess that means they have a Saga. Saga's a card I can beat, though. Okay, attacking me down to 5. So if I crack this fetch and they connive, they can kill me, so maybe I'm not cracking the fetch here. Greasefang, 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 Greasefang! I deserve Greasefang! Yes! Yes! Nice Pithing Needle name. Maybe the One Ring will be a Mox. It's like a Mox that when you tap it, it mills you for 30. No, that's way too good. You got exile top 30 cards from your library. Okay, I like this hand, so we can get a Parhelion with the first engineer and then the Dragon Engine with the second. We don't have black mana. That's okay. We have a keepable hand. Maybe a Soul Ring, not a Mox. The One Ring is, it's got to be like do something really powerful with a huge drawback. So like, so like 0 mana, tap, sacrifice, add 10, and then you lose a life or something like that. Another Misty Rain 4 stack. Have I tried Dragon Engine? It's in the deck. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Stream Decker does not have Phyrexian Dragon Engine in its database. So you'll notice that the main deck is 59 cards. We have a Dragon Engine as an engineer target. I think we could play a second one. We're talking about in the deck tech. Oh, please be playing the Sief's deck. Please be playing the Sief's deck. Yeah, but it's been for like the entire time Dragon Engine's been out. Like it's just not in the database. Maybe I'll get a Scrap Heap Scrounger, actually. I mean, I have 2 engineers, so I'll be pretty likely to be able to drag an engine next turn with an engineer. Let's get an engine. I want to not attack with the Sentinel. I don't want to trade it for Ragavan because I need this to sack. Oh, that's it. It's Scrapwork Mutt. Not playing the Scrounger. If One Ring gives protection from everything. Okay, the One Ring will say protection from everything. Except for yourself. Except for yourself. Yeah, it is the Nassif list. Dude. Okay, what is the tweet? There's no such thing as modern anymore. Just a dumpster fire of 2 really boring deck with a tiny sliver of flex spots and no depth of gameplay whatsoever. Couldn't have said it better myself. It's just somebody on Twitter. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I just thought it was funny. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. It was Doomwink actually. Raging Goblin with 35 months. Just get rich opponent. No idea how your Christian works over. Well, GG's to you, Rage Goblin. That was very cool. So was the breeding pools just for Haywire Might, right? Or do you have I was wondering if you had Ridden 6. Because you had like the green man every game. Crazy Goat with the Twitch Prime. Thank you. So I actually like getting the Mutt in the yard. Yeah, I'll just Spyro again. I like getting the Mutt in the yard so I can engineer the Dragon Engine. I also saw that Nassif is playing Spell Pierce, so I get to kind of play around it by not playing a 2-mana card first. Okay, so I can go... I guess I don't need to shock, but my life total is probably not that relevant. But I can I can go Dragon Engine, get back Spellskite or Mutt. Doesn't really matter, and then sack the engine again to draw 3 cards. But let's go ahead and just get in first. Alonus, 3 months, thank you. One Ring is tap out of color, target opponent controls you during your next turn. Kind of like it. So this is double strike here. So I'm okay trading Icefang for a Seasoned Pyromancer, of course. Think they'll be chumping the Dragon Engine, maybe? Keeping their walls alive for Arcades. Yeah, they're gonna take 4. Okay, so we'll just do a little bit of Flipadelphia-ing. Wait, no! The Sentinel. Sentinel says, I'm back in action, baby! I knew Spike wouldn't abandon me. Little does the Sentinel know. Freya, 31 months, thank you. Welcome back. Churning through our deck here. Look at this board. What's cool is I know my opponent's playing Atreides over Verdict. Although maybe Nisif added like 1 Verdict just to screw me over today. Yeah, Lord of the Rings is modern legal but not standard legal. Which is, I think, were there any other sets that Wizards made? Did Wizards ever make another set that was just modern legal and not standard legal? I can't remember if there were any sets like that. No, probably not. Conceded for the game. I'm feeling a little saucy today. I'm feeling a little saucy. At Gabriel Deceive. Cast Wall of Omens, draws a card, conceded for the game. Alright, let's look at the list though. Has Endurance, Explosives, 1 copy of Rest in Peace. Of course, this even have only 1. Okay, Endurance is actually gonna wreck me. You have to put a period before the at? Why? Otherwise it's just a mention, right? Is that it? Is that the meta? Oh, I don't even see the tweet. Oh, right, okay. Why does Twitter do this? Yeah, Twitter is literally in a state of disrepair, huh? They have 1 copy of Rest in Peace. They're gonna definitely draw it, though. Dress down. I don't think I need to sideboard too heavily, really. I think I'm just gonna bring in... Sentinel doesn't actually even look that good. I'll try my Sentinel for a Loran. Just 1. Is this a diss track? It's always love with Nisif. Nothing but love. Vials don't look amazing. I mean, I think they're pretty important to the deck. I mean, I know they have Prismatic Ending, but Prismatic Ending has other targets too. I knew, yes! They drew their Rest in Peace. I knew they would draw their Rest in Peace. I'm just gonna not play anything this turn, probably. I guess I would play an Aether Vial if I drew it. Nothing but called shots today, chat. Nothing, like literally mono called shots. I said they have 1 Rest in Peace. I'm gonna bring in 1 Loran. Today's a good day. I'm also gonna no-hit Dark Souls today. There's no way, no chance. Gonna throw Esther a good birthday party, which is still like 2 weeks away. Could get dressed down. It'd be pretty screwed. You know, I'm also a Wall of Omens enjoyer too. Just circle back to Nisif's tweet. I mean, I saw literally 1 dress down. I think you have their 1 Rest in Peace, 1 dress down. That's just the Nisif way, and there's nothing you can do about it. Open a sealed box of Urza Saga today. Yeah, I hope you open an Urza Saga in there. I hope that there is an Urza Saga in the box. You're welcome. You're welcome. No! No! Why? Why did he add a second? Rest in peace. Fuck. The tweet only had one. No. What could we have done differently? Alright, dopey beatdown time, chat. Dopey beatdown time. It's my favorite time. Might tap this to draw a card, I don't know. I don't know what the heuristics are for when you tap Loran. I know you do it when you're really behind, and maybe when the Rest in Peace is in play, I'm really behind. Could we see a printing of an artifact with fastest effect lab main? I mean, you can always see almost anything as long as it's in the color pie. That would probably be in the color pie. You can see anything as long as it is appropriately costed. You know, that's the beauty of Magic the Gathering, is like effects are always fine as long as they are an appropriate amount of mana, and when they're not an appropriate amount of mana, then things happen. Okay, they're giving me a card from the Sentinel. I think I'm gonna tap this. They missed their land drop. I don't have any gas in my hand. Oh no, fuck! I thought we were in there. I thought we were in there in step. If they play their land now, I'm gonna feel so embarrassed. Okay, thank you. Spike just salty for that comment of banned Truthless. I agree. You know what, Gab? I actually haven't even read Atreides yet. I know that it lets your walls attack. I don't know like really anything else. But I hope to get to read it this match. You know, I'm a Wall of Omens enjoyer. I think I just want to get as many tokens as possible. Neither of these cards really do much here. Also, why did you add a second Rest in Peace to your list? That's really what I'm mad about. I think I could sacrifice a 2/1 for 5 damage here. I Loran the first Rest in Peace and they played a second. What? Blocking there? That's wild. Okay, I should have drawn now because it can get Solitude. Kind of think this Vial's maybe best served discarding to another Spyro. Do you think Ichor Gauntlet is breakable? That's the artifact that proliferates, right? At the time of making this comment, I have like too many ideas for it, but we'll see. Forever is a bit better. Yeah, I just Nassif sabotaged me because this tweet only had 1 this morning. I should have tuned into the stream though. That's really my fault, I guess. Technically, Dice Factor can use the Gauntlet. I don't know. It's like in general, like 3 mana artifacts do nothing by themselves. Require you to have like permanents in play, non-creature spells in hand, and like a plethora of both of those things. That doesn't like read to me as like a particularly good card. It could be better than I think though. Dude, they exiled the Loran because I was drawing too many cards. So let's go. You just described Scepter. Scepter's maybe, but like Scepter like wins the game. You know what I mean? The game gets the game over. This is like I'm putting counters on my things. You know what I'm saying? What in the world is this attack? Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Like, I guess my point is, like, if you're gonna do that, like, winning the game on the, like, the turn you play it is really nice. As opposed to, like, not. Alright, let's draw another Aether Vial. Never lucky. Since the Gauntlet lets you take extra turns. I mean, it only lets you take extra turns if you have Planeswalker with 12 loyalty in play. I know that, in theory, that's something that can happen, but Okay, does it matter? I guess I just trying to think of which of these cards I want to have in play. So 2/2 is better than a 2/1. Really wish I had drawn anything this turn. Fjork, 23 months, thank you. What do you think? Research and Belief doesn't have a shell that makes it OP in Modern. The card has to be broken sometime, right? It's pretty good when you put Omniscience into play. But, like, you know, kind of like Living Ends, you're a Cascade deck, so you're weak to Cascade Hate, Counter Spells, and Graveyard Hate, but instead of having, like, a bunch of cheap creature cyclers that are much faster, all you have, like, Shark Typhoon and Lay Claim, which are pretty slow. I've brewed with it. It's just not quite there. JRC, thank you with 5 months. Hope you're doing well. What about replacing 3 walls and birds land with birds? I wouldn't cut a land for birds. I don't know. Birds. I think birds kind of sucks. The deck is always slow too. Like I think if you're calling Bant Soul Herder slow, like you're not wrong, but it also just kind of feels like like you slow the game down too. You're playing your walls, you're playing your Ice Wings, you're playing your Solitudes. You can win the game on turn 5 with your combo. The deck is slow though. You're right. That's kind of just the strategy. I would also play Hierarch over Bird probably, but I don't know, maybe blocking Murktide's more important. Birds. This is also something that's like kind of tough to say, but Birds of Paradise is also just like not a very good modern card. Alright, I think I can skip to the bottom. I'm gonna bring in more Lorans. Sentinel. I think I play so many creatures. I think I'm just gonna go down to 1 Sentinel. Okay, on the play. Well, this could be turn 3 Greasefang with Giver Protection. I think I'm getting Godless Shrine. I could play Sunbaked Canyon turn 1. Skystorm runs for Karn the Great Creator mostly. I would bring it in against like maybe like humans or merfolk though. In addition. Backup Greasefang. Need a land. Yeah, if they do have recipes, we at least have a Loran in our hand. I finished the run off stream after losing the bet at 4 Kings. I ended up getting a personal best. I ended up finishing with 25 hits, which is only personal best by 2. But I did a lot of practice. I'm a lot better. I think I solved some issues I was having with dodging the 4 Kings side swipe attack. And so I actually beat 4 Kings 3 times in a row yesterday, and I beat Ornstein and Smo 7 times in a row. But 4 of those were like very good RNG. And so like a combination of that is also playing off stream. There's like no pressure. In practice, no pressure. And part of that is also like, I took a break, I ate lunch. And so I'm trying to think like because like right now, to be honest, like the biggest issue with the Dark Souls is improving my mental game. Damn it. Why do you have 2 rested pieces and endurance? Brutal. Yeah, but improving my mental game seems to be the biggest hurdle at the moment. And hopefully it's a hurdle I can overcome. I'm gonna get in for 2 damage here. I have a backup Greasefang if they kill this one. Yeah, I guess Deceive always. Are we gonna pay out the picture yesterday? I didn't realize there was one live. Like the mods tend to making them. Hit count by Spider GF. Oh, we were 2. I think we're at 2 there. Yeah, I mistimed a dodge on Quelaag yesterday, which hasn't happened to me in a really long time. Okay, I'm okay if they chump block Greasefang, so maybe I'll just attack with everything here. They block here, they here, that's fine. Fuck! No! Oh, fuck, I misclicked on the... I thought I clicked on the Greasefang. I think I clicked, like, right here. This is just like Dark Souls, huh? Could I play the second half of the run? We did almost the entire thing yesterday. I ended up getting hit on 4 Kings, losing the bet, and I stopped, like, right before the end. But, I've done the full run on stream, like, if you count yesterday 3 times, which maybe yesterday doesn't count. Looks like it only mattered. I mean, I did 1 more damage, but yeah. Yeah, the thirsty hits are tough. Alright, let's attack with everything this time. I think I might just cycle Unearth. We'll see what happens. Did I practice the attack jump plunge? I haven't. I don't know that it really feels like something I need to do. Oh, for the gargoyle, for the bat devils. No, I do need to practice that. Okay, it's kind of sus that they're blocking here, and I guess they don't want to let me get the Unearth. I think I'm just supposed to give pro green here. They could have a, you know, Solitude plus Ephemerate, which would be worst case scenario. I guess I want to cycle Unearth before Canyon here. Okay, Goblin Engineer allows me to go for it next turn, assuming my Greasefang lives, which is not a guarantee, but I could also draw another land and just do all in one go. We fought through 2 Endurances already. Squeed, 9 months, thank you. Alright, 2 Endurances and a rip. I have my Loran in the hand. Hopefully no dress down. Ooh, plays Beseiju. Beseiju's also can get me here, right? Am I going to speedrun the other Soul games after Dark Souls 1? I am not currently making plans to do so, no. I might, and I might not. I think I don't really want to tap my Giver here, so like, if they want to block Endurance, then I can pro green, and then that's fine, but I'm also just okay if they chump block. Or if they use their Ephemerate here. Maybe a 3rd Ephemerate. No, Mud is really, really good. Alright. So we've gone through 3 Ephemerates, 2 Endurance, Beseiju kinda. They have, you know, 7 cards in their hand, but I've got the combo with Giver of Runes up potentially for next turn. It's gonna be hard to win. They play out Beseiju because they have another Endurance. I mean, they had the Rest in Peace in play. Like, I don't know. If they have triple Endurance, Rest in Peace, we have a second Goblin Engineer even. So it's like, actually, depending on when they Endurance, we could even just still get them. I think the Mardu pile is better than the Absent pile modern. If we're talking about Greasefang specifically, much, much, much better. Like, Engineer is like an insane enabler for the deck. And like Seasoned Pyromancer is very good too. Like I can't even like tell you one good green card for this shell, to be honest. Curse you, Nassif. It's Steel Seeker, sure. Yeah, Steel Seeker would be something. I have another Engineer in my hand, though. I don't want to play it now, because then they can Soul Herder Flicker Endurance, potentially. I think I might draw a card. Try to find something else to do. Alright, let's see if we draw another Giver. That'd be really nice. Mord, thank you for the raid. Hope you're doing well. Atreides! Okay. Flying Vigilance. Whenever a creature defender enters the battlefield, draw a card. Each creature defender assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power and can attack as though it didn't have defender. Okay, I'm definitely jumping with a Mutt. Block. Oh, Arcades. Yeah, too much God of War, huh? What can you do? 3 endurance, rest in peace. 3 endurance, rest in peace. 4 ephemerates. What can you do? What can you do? Concede with grace and dignity. Alright, let's keep this. I might have won game 2 if I had known how many rest in pieces there were. Maybe not. Ugh. Scalding Tar and Sacred Foundry Swift Spear. It's probably burn. Should we be a portable hold deck to the synergy? I mean, I'm honestly like just not that interested in playing like creature removal spells in this deck. Yeah, and like the only synergy is like it's Goblin Engineerable too. We're not playing Saga. Alright, so spins Rift Bolts. Burn indeed. What it hates removal. I mean, it stops exactly Rest in Peace. I think I'm playing Loran for Rest in Peace, which also kills Leyline. Kills Hearse too, which I guess still does Portable Hole. But Loran is, vialable and attacks and unearthable. Although I guess not unearthable in the face of Graveyard Hate, huh? Tutorable with Goblin Engineer? Yeah, but it's not ever going to answer Rest in Peace when you tutor it with Goblin Engineer, you know what I mean? Ooh. Has Rakdos been knocked out of contention in the meta? No. I think Rakdos is still a pretty good deck. It's just like I think they're playing different things. I agree. I'm not sure exactly where they all went. I played against it last night. I like Ephemerate for Vial swap exactly at some point. Do we have enough ETB creatures? So we have Seasoned Pyromancer. Don't look at that. Seasoned Pyromancer, Engineer, which is like kind of mid to Ephemerate. Mutt, it's not that good to Ephemerate. Greasefang it just has a protection spell for Greasefang is fine, I guess. Add Solitudes. Not sure what to cut though. I mean, this is classic, Spike, add Solitude. I don't know what you're cutting. I don't know what I've been cutting either, I also don't know. I don't know. I think that this deck is just fine being a proactive creature deck with a linear game plan, lots of incidental creatures. I think that like diluting that plan with Solitudes is probably not correct. Solitude is like an archetype specific card, a card that's good in like mid-range deck, a card that mid-range decks, a card that's good in control decks is not really a card that's good in like generic creature decks like this with like that are aggressive and like aren't that interested in your opponent getting a ton of life. Okay, if they have exactly Lightning Bolt, they can get me here. Yeah, I want to Unearth Mutt instead of Seasoned Pyromancer though, so I can attack for. Oh no, I'm only attacking for 15, right? Only attacking for 15. Okay, tapping for 15 makes them unable to tap the canyon though, which is probably more relevant than having the tokens, since I don't really need the tokens because I have the angels to block the Swift Spear. Alright, you got exactly Lightning Bolt, opponent. Do I think Nihira would be sweet for this deck? Maybe. I like Nihiri. This is the kind of deck that would want Nihiri for sure. Why not play the Pyro? I literally just said why not. The extra 2 damage makes them unable to tap the Sunbaked Canyon for mana, which is relevant when they need to have multiple burn spells here to kill me. Oh no, so they need either Boros burn spell or 2 burn spells. So it stops them from going like Skullcrack Lightning Bolt, Skullcrack Skewer. And I have blockers for Swift Spear, so I don't need the Seasoned Pyromancer tokens. But never mind, I see. Honestly, I think Giver is mid. I think Giver is not mid. Stupid Boros Charm. So like in the past I've had like Ragavan over the Giver spot, but like we're a deck that's built around resolving a 3-mana 4/3 in Modern, and having Giver Roots to protect it I think is actually really nice. I need the Lorans too. Right, Vial is usually not that good against Burn. Solitude over Give, Ephemerate over Vial. Oh, that's not a bad suggestion. I think I like the Solitude. I think I like the Vial Giver plan more. I don't know. I think Giver's great in the deck, honestly. I think Giver's great. I think that like when you do so I guess Ephemerate does give you extra protection for Greasefang, but it's also protection that you need mana up for on turn 3. Like I'd be closer to cutting Sentinel before I cut Ephemerate, but Sentinel's good too. Loran's really good. I mean, just like it's the first white Reclamation Sage in your Aether Vial Unearth deck. I don't hate the suggestion though. But also I think when you're playing like 1-for-1s and stuff, like you dilute your linear game plan. I just don't really feel like this is a very good Solitude deck, right? How important is Unearth? I think Unearth is really good, especially with. I mean, the whole idea here, and this doesn't mean this has to be an idea we stick to 100%. But the whole idea was like I thought that the package of Scrapwork Mutt, Goblin Engineer, Phyrexian Dragon Engine, Unearth was like a pretty interesting card advantage engine, especially with Aether Vial to like accelerate these cards out. And I think that the Greasefang package is just a perfect fit for that plan. I've played the Asmo package in Greasefang in the past. It would be difficult to fit it in because it's 12 cards. Playing this so I can like block with the Sentinel with protection. We could also maybe get through like 1 full league, then assess later, right? No rush. Nice 2 Sentinel. Yeah, for Ephemerate, I think you would probably have to add Solitude and Ephemerate for it to be good. Which I don't think it's a bad direction to go. I'm just not sure it's better. Could be worth testing. You know that turn box on the left. This like where it says turn of the player, or something else. What makes this got Vials Ragavan? No. So I had Ragavan in my first draft of this deck. When I was playing this, like right when Kamigawa was released. But since then I've learned that like Ragavan is not a good card in decks like this without removal. It is straight up just not like even really very playable, in my opinion. So I can go digging for a Greasefang with Takenuma next turn. The white box you gotta click OK on. I mean that's a pretty important This? I mean, this is... What are you talking about? You need this to play the freaking game. What? I think that Takenuma can return Greasefang through Eidolon. I'm not actually 100% sure. Let's find out. Okay, so it's not giving me the option to return this Spyro. Alright, so let's keep the Mutt in the yard because we can unearth it without triggering Eidolon. Digging for Greasefang. If I find Greasefang, I guess I can't cast it this turn, actually. Right. I do think it makes sense to cast the Forge-Tender. I hit pro red, yeah. Let's start pro white. Ephemerate does a lot of work with the shell. Parhelion. Okay, Ephemerate is not good with Parhelion. And it's not good with Dragon Engine. You don't get to draw cards off the Dragon Engine. It is good with Pyro. But I've even found it can be awkward with Pyro where like you don't get to draw 4 cards. Like you draw 2 off one of the rebounds, and you rebound again in your upkeep a lot of the time, discarding the cards you just drew. Which isn't the end of the world or anything, and it can be like better than that too. Dial 13 months ago, thank you. Wow, attacking with Eidolon. Maybe I should have kept Eidolon in play. No, I think this is fine. I don't know. I know we were just 2-1, but the deck has also been doing really well today, right? We beat Grixis Shadow, we beat Jeskai Breach, we almost beat Quadruple. Hold on. Do I want to unearth anything here? I guess I'll attack with a Spyro, and if they block, then I can unearth it. They might block. Oh, if I played a Fortune main phase, they're way more likely to block. They had triple endurance, rest in peace, 4 ephemerates, so we almost won. I feel like that game was pretty nice. "13 months of MH2 hate." Yeah, that's this channel. Oh, yeah, so he gets exiled. Can't unearth it. Of course. Can they attack? No way, right? No, they're throwing away just throwing away a Goblin Guide. Block, pro red block. Weird game. Let's get some cycling on Earth. All 3 Forge-Tenders. Greasefang? Any greasy fangs in the chat?
Something about that blue tie-dye that gets me every time.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. What?
Something about that blue tie-dye that gets me every time.
Thank you for that, sweetie. Almost hard casting Parhelion here. Oh, draws a card. Weird game. Attack with pro red Loran. I kind of like being able to attack with both the Seasoned Pyromancer and the Loran. Pin on Canopy Lands. They're okay. I mean, they're not very good in this matchup. I'm playing exactly 1. You could play maybe 1 more. Your mana base is already kind of painful. If I triple block, I play around a path. Kind of better, right? Losing 2 of my Forge Tenders does kind of stink here. I think I'm okay with it. Be a bit better if I could draw any spells, though. My opponent's also not casting anything, which is so weird. They had 6 cards in their hand. They're playing burn, and they're just not casting anything. I can cast Parhelion if I draw one, but I finally drew a Greasefang. I cannot even imagine what my opponent's hand for them to just like be doing nothing with their mana is. I can't even tell you. Smash the Smithereens, maybe? Nope. Deflecting Palm? Yep. So, this Fortune will never get better than stopping the 5 damage, right? Give me just a minute, Horseshoe. Yeah, they have multiple palms. Yeah, multiple palms should be okay, right? Like, they'll just die to the angel tokens next turn. You can also just hard cast this next turn. Against Burn, Ruby Storm. I've started to build decks like this. Let me see if I have any drafts. I guess those drafts just became like the red-green storm deck I've been playing. I cannot believe we won that game after drawing so many lands. I guess we did draw all 3 Forge-Tenders, huh? Not being able to block Sanctifier is kind of nice. Sky Sovereign killing Sanctifier. Maybe we'll play Sky Sovereign. Not sure what I'm cutting. Kind of want to cut the Dragon Engine. Could maybe cut one of the Lorans too on the draw. I kind of think that there's a chance that they're just on palm over rip. I don't know. It's bothering me because I had this in a draft recently. Okay, there's Invoke Calamity, so maybe if we scroll over, yeah, Hazards and Dying Fury. Yeah, I think it was like I really like the idea of playing Empty the Warrens with Hazards and Dying Fury. I thought that was like the best storm spell. There's only 57 cards. I was kind of stuck on some slots. But like a lot of times you're gonna be like Invoke Calamity, cast a spell, cast Hazards and Dying Fury, and then your storm count will be like 6 or 7, which is like exactly why you need to be on empty, I think, instead of other options. And it's also like not too bad with Invoke. I think that I'm not like that into the finale Electro Dominance part of the plan, but I also haven't thought that much about it either. And you also have Increasing Vengeance, which is cool. Well, I'm definitely going to keep double Fortune on the draw against Burn. I don't love that I have to fetch Shock, but I guess I don't have to fetch Shock. I can go Canyon, tap Canyon twice, which is probably worse than fetch Shock. Okay, I don't think that Go-Getters. I don't think that the big score Unexpected Windfall are like particularly good either. I could be wrong. They could be better than I think that they are, but as for the most part, I don't really view them as like modern power level cards. Vengeance is also like a card that I just feel is so difficult to cast before like one of your big things. And it doesn't, and this effect I don't think works very well with Invoke Calamity, or like you have to like cast a spell after Invoke Calamity, which is the problem. So they have a Sanctifier, yeah. It is nice that Sanctifier doesn't exile Parhelion. I think that is kind of quietly a big part of this deck's dynamic. It works perfectly because it seems to use 2 in the yard or hand as long as you choose its second can copy what you cast. I played Invoke Calamity recently, so the the blue-red flashback copy spell, I know for a fact doesn't work that way. Thank you again for the raid. Hope you're enjoying arcadizing people. I'm kind of deciding between playing a Mutt and playing a Giver this turn. I think I can play a Giver this turn and take 2 from the Sanctifier, play this tapped, and then go Giver Mutt next turn. But I was of the opinion when you go Invoke Calamity, if you can't go copy spell and then next spell, and then copy the second spell with the first that you cast off Invoke for the copy spell. If that's not the case, then like it's fine. Galvanic Relay has to resolve. Or I thought are we talking about Galvanic Relay or Invoke? It has to resolve. It's just a fork. Target spell on a stack. Oh, okay, because it's a fork instead of copy the next spell. Okay, then that probably works then. That probably works then. I'm not sure if I also like that you're not playing any like mana reducers. I might like it. I'm just not sure. Searing Blaze. I don't think I'm supposed to Forge-Tender this because then I get hit by a Goblin Guide. If I Forge-Tender this, yeah, I think I just have to unfortunately let this happen. That's where the Fortune because of Unearth. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Okay. I think I'm discarding the Canyon. Why tap both black sources? Because I probably shouldn't have tapped both black sources. Yeah, I don't have too many notes, honestly. Okay, I don't know if I love the mana base. I don't feel like I'd be playing Prismatic Vista. I'd be playing like normal fetch lands, just like all red fetch lands instead. Maybe if you have Blood Moon in the sideboard, you can do it that way, but I don't think I like Prismatic Vista over just like regular red fetches here. While green is literally only to suspend footfalls, so like, yeah, I would probably just be playing Stomping Ground and not the basic forest either. I guess maybe with the Veil of Summers, but even then, like you are playing, you know, Electro Dominance, so like having all lands that tap for red are kind of nice. Wiltron, 13 months, thank you. Okay, so holding these Unearths to get back Forge-Tenders seem kind of nice. Maybe I should probably cycle 1 though. Alright. Shoot. I cited out my Dragon Engine, didn't I? I think I'll hold the Marsh Flats to maybe Mutt away. We have a Parhelion in the yard, though. Will to 13 months, Neebled 19, Con with the Twitch Prime, thank you. Yeah, could grab another Mutt. I think you just want to like set ourselves up to draw Greasefang here. Especially when we have like, you know, basically 3 Forge-Tenders. I mean, I think Skyship is worse than Parhelion because you can't engineer Skyship into play. Unearth Spellskite. Unearthing Spellskite would be nice if I had access to blue mana, which I don't. So yeah, so I mean, like kind of like some loose ideas for your version, Horsuit, and then just maybe screenshot this. I'm missing like a few spots, but I always liked Harvest. Maybe you're supposed to play the Strike It Rich in the 3 spots here. This is something I never got around to play testing. And Gigantha's not available here either. I don't know why it's over here, probably from an earlier draft. But I ended up thinking that this was also like worse than like the Breach deck I've been playing. Wear Tear Mutt. Okay, that super duper resolves. Classic, maybe just seeing kind of classic burn over sideboarding here. Okay, top card is Loran. So if we block like this. Pro white are Forge-Tender. Did I test Shatterstorm to Storm as soon as possible? I mean, I didn't test it in like the Breach version. I know that Caleb Schur was playing it over Empty the Warrens, which I honestly didn't like really get to, but that's okay. But I haven't cast the card in Modern, I think. Boros Charm modes. I mean, if I put up Boros Charms for Double Strike, this is still pro white, and it'll basically be Boros Charm to kill Giver, which is acceptable. What about the Dragon Engine Mishra Meld isn't good enough? Like the whole Mishra being completely unplayable part? I've melded it though. Mishra's just like not a playable modern card. It's just very win more. Sorry, probably should be doing this all once. Instead of typing 2 words and then taking a game action. Push the format. But I wanted to get out of my system, so I wanted to go turn 2 Heartless Summoning into Crashing Drawbridge, maybe Spellskite to protect it, into turn 3 2 mana Mishra, 1 mana Dragon Engine, give them haste with Crashing Drawbridge, and I did it. Woohoo! Hooray! I did it like through stuff too. Okay, well, we're top decking Loran, which is... They know I'm drawing it, so I'm kind of surprised that they played out the... Eidolon here, right? Did a Skullcrack. Yeah, I've had Goryo's Vengeance, a version of that deck with Goryo's Vengeance in my drafts for a while too. Yeah, I guess so. 2 mana shock, 2 mana shock. Fair enough, fair enough. But like, there's a chance I would have played out the Loran, right? I just would have cast it, maybe. Okay, so Searing Blaze, gonna Forge-Tender here. Tense game. All right. So they're making me use my Forge-Tender so they can attack, but this basically trades Goblin Guide for Giver. Well, actually, I don't need to block... Actually, no, I don't need to block the Goblin Guide at all. There's really, like... Okay, with Spellskite on top, maybe I need to block the Goblin Guide. That's interesting. Because this gives me the ability to activate Spellskite once this game. Block thinking pro red. I mean, of course. I'm just deciding if I want to block with the Giver or not. That was the decision point there. So we unearth the Forge-Tender, we play a Spellskite. Attack for 4. So now we get a Spellskite activation, and what we're dead to a Skullcrack ever. Sunbaked Canyon's so good in this deck. Smash doesn't kill me, but very, very good. Unearth on the top of my library, so I can unearth a Forge-Tender. Get ahead of the next burn spell. They're also dead as soon as I draw a Greasefang, so this is a pretty fun top deck war here. I'm gonna hold the Mutt so I can like discard a non-Greasefang card or non-relevant card in next turn. No, I think I'd rather get Forge-Tender back than Spellskite, right? This beats Boros Charm, Lava Spike, which Spellskite doesn't. Come on, Greasefang, I'm 21 cards deep. I think I'll just discard the Engineer. We could play it, get another Mutt potentially. All right, I guess I'll attack for 1. Yeah, Mana Lake and Creativity is not actually that rare. Okay, well, they've been ripping burn spells. Maybe they will not for a turn. This one is risky. I mean, you just have to play it. I don't know what to say. Damn it. Alright, they drew better than I did. Wow. That's also going to be pretty good, too. Okay, 2-1 to 2-2 is not too bad, but the games have been very close, and hard to feel too upset about this. I think I'm going to keep this. It's kind of questionable. We were a good early game. Have Takenuma if we flood. Of the Underworld archetypes I've played lately, what was the most fun to play? What felt the most promising? Most fun was definitely the Pact of the Titan variants. Most promising is maybe just like, you know, boring prowess, boring shadow. Alright, so I want this into play first, and I can Violin, give her as a blocker here. Yeah, Sentinel against Murktide is better than Giver, so I'm going to go ahead and Vial this in. I never played Vial when it's Super Puck card. What makes it worth playing a deck like this? I'd say an amazing mana accelerant. without any... You know, letting you, like, Engineer and Greasefang in the same turn is nice, but mostly just generates a ton of mana for you in a deck like this, and it's not really much deeper than that. Could maybe be good to, like, wait a turn and, like, be able to channel one of these two, but I think I just want to get the ball rolling a bit more here. Alright, finding Engineer is really nice. I think this is likely going to be a spot where I Engineer for Dragon and Jin. That could be wrong, though, because I have the Seasoned Pyromancer. I'm going to probably upkeep Seasoned Pyromancer after it's like, this is a great example. This is going to be 6 mana made for me. Vial on a 1-drop, Vial on a 2-drop, Vial on a 3-drop. That's 6 mana. Would Fable be good? No, not in your Aether Vial Unearth deck. I think we have enough action that I'm supposed to just put a Parhelion in the yard so Greasefang is live. Although my opponent likely has interaction up for themselves. But they're also pretty likely to kill the Engineer here, like almost no matter what. So we'll just get a Parhelion in the yard. Alright, drawing up to 3. Unearth can be nice here. I think I'll just attack with... I guess I can attack with the Engineer as well. Could maybe play Sentinel first. The problem is I think they're going to counterspell Sentinel, and I don't want them to get Delirium. Could honestly Unearth my Sentinel too. Which makes it so hard for them. But I don't have much action if I do that. Wow. Dude, Brazen Borrower is so bad. They just refuse to cut it. It's so bad. I mean, Wizard combo, is it dead? I don't know. I just kind of moved on to other stuff. I would not describe it as dead. Do we not lose to Big Murktide? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. They have 1 instant or sorcery in their yard, so they can't probably make a Big Murktide right now. I beat Murktide last night at my testing. I beat Scam. I beat Grixis Shadow. I straight up haven't lost to your Ragavan deck yet. Thank you, sweetheart.
I see you haven't gotten the hang of it.
Yeah. I need to do some training.
Yeah. At least stop training.
Yeah, so last night what I did was I had a Smuggler's Copter over the Spellskite, but I ended up cutting the Givers in the Copter. I think my plan this morning is to cut the Givers in a Vial for Needle for Hearst, and then I think Fortuner is better than Giver by a lot. Especially with them having Brotherhood End. Couldn't we have brought back Parhelion activated last turn? Yeah, Goblin Engineer is not that broken. Goblin Engineer only returns artifacts with mana value 3 or less to play. It is not as like a super bannable card. We can keep this. A lot of good top decks, and turn 1 Sentinel against Murktide is very ideal. Drawing a land, not ideal. Yeah, the Engineer's not bad, but it's not like... It's not... You can only... it would be insanely broken if it was both Entomb and Reanimate on a 2-mana creature. You know what I mean? Do you have any plans to return to Pioneer, or too many sets come out nowadays to make time? Okay, this is a sentiment I've heard recently. I don't really get, like, the same amount of sets, with the exception of, like, the 2 Horizon sets, I guess. I guess Lord of the Rings is going to happen, but, like, last year, there was the normal amount of Magic sets. I'm mostly just like having a lot of success brewing in Modern at the moment. I'm really into it, so I just want to keep that going. But I will return to Pioneer if I feel like it. But at least last year there was just the normal amount of standard sets. I guess this year we'll have 1 extra with Lord of the Rings. I don't know, like, just don't really enjoy Pioneer nearly as much as Modern, and it's really just kind of that simple, I guess. Spyro? Awkward draw here. Guess I just play the Sentinel. Moose 23 months? Yeah, why no Vindicate? Man. Yeah, yesterday I tweeted that Modern Horizons 2 made Vindicate unplayable, which I thought was... I think most people got the joke, but it was a Modern Horizons 2 card. Maybe a number of sets isn't the best way to describe it, more so the number of brewable cards. Yeah, that's not... I wouldn't say that that's the reason. I'm just mostly just having a good time in Modern. And, I spent a lot of time brewing in Pioneer 2 when I was, like, prepping for Atlanta last year. And, like, I wanted to, like, spend some time on stream going over those brews. But, like, to be honest, after, like, some reflection, I just wasn't really that excited about any of them. Alright, big draw step, and I'm getting kind of flooded here. Okay, let's go to game 3. Big old flood. After 4 my first day when I was somewhere in the low 30s. Yeah, I think the metagame shifted a little bit, where there's, like, just mono green, you're farming mono green, but I kept losing to Rakdos with the Delver deck. I'm like, oh, that's okay, it's Rakdos, it's close, I have Cruise, I'll be fine. But that was not the dynamic at all. That was not the dynamic at all. But, like, also at Atlanta, like literally everybody was either playing... If you weren't playing Rakdos or Mono White or Mono Green, you were playing a brew that was either, like, good against everything but Mono Green or good against Mono Green. And, to be honest, like, good against only Mono Green was not a good place to be. And somehow it's where I ended up, but that's where everybody else ended up, really. Why no Derma Taxi? I despise Derma Taxi. Alright, classic 1-land Aether Vial keep. With a lot of potential, though. Mono Green is basically falling off a cliff. I imagine it'll fall back. Oh, I still watch Doomwake, though. Mostly because I like Doomwake. Then I like to watch Pioneer. Alright, Unearth is a interesting draw here. I'm just going to go get my Sentinel to play. What if they ban Bobble? Then Bobble would be banned. That'll be $5 a month for the rest of your life. Their decks go over the top of Mono Green. I think that's why. I don't know. Yeah, they're definitely decks that beat it. They're definitely decks that beat it. So they have Delirium here. Hopefully we draw a 2-mana creature or a land. Well, that's pretty big. Especially with the Unearth in my hand to, like, get a second go if they disrupt me the first time. I'm a bit worried about tapping my Vial on my main phase and them dress downing me. Blood Moon, my only land in play, basic mountain, and then they slamming the Blood Moon. Although it's fine, it like turns off a decent number of cards here. I just love the confidence to slam a Blood Moon there. Okay, do I discard both Parhelions here? I think still no lands. We even could have just Greasefang them if we had Engineer in our hand. Or Mutt. Classic Mana Flood into like Super Mana Screw. If they don't have a land, they don't have any red mana up though. Wow. They have to have exactly dress down. Dude, I games like this, like all lands, no lands. It's okay. We're doing all right, but pretty frustrating. Oh, they can have Borrower. True. Looks like they have Borrower. That's what I get for calling Borrower garbage. Alright, we're gonna lose. It's okay. Yeah, they also didn't bounce the Aether Vial. Dude, how did they not bounce the Vial there? Yeah. Yikes. They do need another removal spell for my Greasefang. I do have another Parhelion in the yard. They play the Otawara as a land immediately. I played Scales a few times on stream. I usually like to like new cards before it get printed. I wonder if they ever like Brothers Hidden destroy all creatures here. Tink 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 Fury. Pitching on Holy Heat too. So we need to draw Swamp or Greasefang, I guess. Bummer. Alright, I think those, even though we went 2-3, like, I don't feel like it was too bad of a showing. I think there was, like, a little bit of variance against us, but also, like, a lot of, like, at least rounds 3 and 4 were really rough draws to go against. Run it back. I think we also won every single game 1 except for against Burn, right?